what is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. They did not have an easily explainable pattern. And so, I think that people still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is. But I have nothing to report to you today.
It's okay.
About the briefing that you received on UFOs, is that a concern that for pilots? Is there anything you can mention to us about that?
Well, I think some of the press reports are accurate. I think people are taking this issue much more seriously, and I'm not going to get into any of the contents of the briefing. It was a classified briefing, but what I think one of the key takeaways I'd have is that the military and others are taking this issue seriously, which I think in previous generations may not have been the case.
Enough, but frankly, there are a lot more sightings than have been made public. Some of those have been declassified. When we talk about sightings, we're talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots or have been picked up by satellite imagery that frankly engage in actions that are difficult to explain, that movements that are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for, or traveling at speeds that exceed the sound barrier without a sonic boom. So in short, things that we are observing that are difficult to explain. And so, there's actually quite a few of those, and I think that information is being gathered and will be put out in a way that the American people can see. We always, when we see these things, Maria, we always look for a plausible explanation. Weather can cause disturbances, visual disturbances. Sometimes we wonder whether or not our adversaries have technologies that are a little bit further down the road than we thought or that we realized. But there are instances where we don't have good explanations for some of the things that we've seen. And, when that information becomes declassified, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that.
Can you tell us where?
National Intelligence just a few days ago released a new report on 144 sightings of what they call unidentified aerial phenomena. Virtually all of them remain unexplained. Whatever these are, they appear to not only be technology that the United States does not have, but technology that we cannot even explain. I know a lot of people joke about this, but you're a national security hawk. How concerned are you about these objects, and where do you think they come from?
Well, I don't believe they're coming from foreign adversaries. If they were, why, that would suggest that they have a technology which is in a whole different sphere than anything we understand. And frankly, China and Russia just aren't there. And either are we, by the way. So I'm not worried about it from a...
What do you think this is, these phenomena that you're seeing?
I don't know. We don't know, and that's the problem. And let me be clear, I haven't seen anything. I'm going off what our military men and their radars and their eyesight is telling them. And there's multiple highly trained, highly competent people. There's stuff flying in our airspace. We don't know what it is. We need to find out. That's my position on it.
Will you
approach our intelligence work? And the main issues that Congress and others have been concerned about are basically safety of flight concerns and counterintelligence issues. But of course, there's always the question of, is there something else that we simply do not understand that might come extraterrestrially?
So let me just ask a follow-up.
We do not understand that might come extraterrestrially.
You have legitimate pilots describing something that doesn't seem to conform to the laws of physics that govern aviation and is in U.S. airspace. I think it's something we need to get to.
Not as skeptical as you were a couple years ago. What did you mean by that?
Just that I have been not in the presence of, but I've been in conversations with several individuals who have been close to an aircraft performing in an extraordinary fashion, that performs in a fashion that has not yet come to be something that people are comfortable with or expecting to see.
Now, if we have life on this earth, to answer the second part of your question, do I think in these billions of stars that are in our galaxy, and there are billions, if not trillions, of other galaxies, is there the opportunity for another star, a sun, to have planets going about it? Yes, I think that. Who am I to limit life right here?
Trivialize this matter. We want to make sure we remove the stigma while engaging with some of our civilian organizations who are seeing these things and working with the government in ensuring that if it is otherworldly, we will have internal controls in place to protect us and to engage in the event that that happens in a healthy and safe way.
We do not understand that might come extraterrestrially.